Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
Good afternoon. Okay, so good afternoon and welcome to the third track that we are having right now. That's spirituality in arts and culture. And our speakers in order for today are Neha Sankwalkar, Vaishnavi Sankwalkar, Klesma De Costa, and we will have a lovely little video from Mr. Anup Kumar. So before I go ahead, before I begin, welcome one and all to this lovely platform where we are come together with the aim of unity consciousness. I will introduce the first speaker of the day, that is Neha Sankwalkar, who will be speaking on cultivating integral yogic leadership. I'm glad to introduce a very young yoga practitioner in Goa, Neha Pradeep Sankwalkar, a yoga mentor, counselor, and life coach, a healer, a yoga therapist who bears the Junior Research Fellowship in Yoga Science field and is the founder of Samyukt Yoga Academy. She works passionately on the theme healing with alignment and bears the research aptitude and background experience to take practical therapeutic yoga sessions. She has taught several subjects: biomechanics of yoga, therapeutic yoga, dietetics and nutrition, to bachelor's, masters of yoga and sports students at the University of Patanjali whilst pursuing her doctoral studies. Her passion for fitness drives her to contribute significantly in the field of yoga. We are really looking forward to hear more from you, Neha. Go ahead.
Uh, I offer my sincere gratitude to Floyd sir for inviting me, Dr. Yugandhar, and all the beautiful people who are here to hear my thoughts in front of you all. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to have a few moments of silence. So let us align ourselves comfortably, keeping the spine erect, closing the eyes, allowing pure silence, peace, solitude to get imbibed in us. Let us have a deep, long breath. And I will have a small prayer. Shri Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Let us allow ourselves to finally rub our both palms together and placing it over the eyes. Let me begin. Dear members, it's my privilege to convey my words and convey my thoughts regarding what yogic leadership is all about. So yogic leadership being a topic in my PhD, I found most of the important difference what we consider from being a manager and a leader is that a leader is somebody who is integral, allows each and every scope to make an integrity in the lives of those whom he leads. So hereby we come to important aspects related to our life. Just like how a car has got 4 wheels, similarly, we also have to have a balance on the 4 wheels of our life. First being the personal life, second being the work life, third being the social life, and last but not the least being our relationships with everyone. So even if एक भी अगर थोड़ा ढीला पड़ जाए, गाड़ी नहीं चल सकती properly, है ना? और हमारे भारतीय संस्कृति में, in our Indian culture, it has been very nicely explained how we should have a balance in our life, because when we have a strong roots, we also excel in our personal and all the fields that we go through. So there's a small life correction techniques which have been mentioned in our scriptures. Srimad Bhagavad Gita says, युक्ताहार विहारस्य युक्त चेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्त स्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः. It says yukta ahar, a good food habits, yukta vihar, a good lifestyle habits, Yukta Cheshta, whatever activities that we do, if they all are in equanimous, then only including our good Yukta Cheshtasya karma, so Yukta Swapnavabodhasya, good night, good sleep, and a good waking up time, all these when taken into consideration, then only yoga becomes successful. And yoga is not about physical activities solely, it's about our social and internal obligations that we have to pay. And that is the reason why Ashtanga Yoga had explained Yama Niyama. Hai na? So there are these two important principles which have been mentioned, which if a leader imbibes, he not only becomes a corruption-free person of equanimous mindset, but also becomes like a role model for every other subordinate whom he leads to, right? So in our Yama, it says Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, and Aparigraha. I would not explain all of it, but the point is when we talk about Ahimsa, it is not being harmful or hurtful to anybody else. So when we are a leader and when we think of others from the empathetic point of view, it imbibes a sense of gratitude towards the others who he leads to. And that is what have been mentioned very beautifully in our yogic scriptures. So when we talk about integral yogic leadership, it involves our own health, because ultimately when we are not happy within, we would not be able to help others to be happy and grow in their personal lives as well, right? So it is very nicely explained how you can keep your own body fit and thereby lead in your whatever field that we aim for. So that's why I always advise and also make sure that I personally do myself yoga abhyas, because it is very rightly said that when we consider शरीर माध्यम खलु धर्म साधनम, मतलब इसका मतलब ये है कि शरीर के माध्यम से ही हम अपनी सारे जो भी एक्टिविटीज है वो अच्छे से निभा पाएंगे. अगर हमारा शरीर हमें मदद नहीं कर रहा, हाउ कैन वी इवन लीड अ लाइफ ऑफ क्रोर्स पर्सन, है ना? मतलब एक करोड़पति होकर भी अगर हमारा शरीर हमारा साथ नहीं दे रहा, देन इट इज फ्रूटलेस. So it is very important that we have a healthy body. So that's why it is very mentioned कि हम start करें सुबह की शुरुआत योग से और योग में योगाभ्यास से. और इसी का ध्यान में रखते हुए I do take yoga sessions morning 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. मतलब morning time में, जिसमें I also ensure that कि योगा अभ्यास में फिजिकल एक्टिविटीज के साथ साथ माइंड कामिंग मेडिटेशन प्रैक्टिस बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि आज की भागदौड़ भरी जिंदगी में हम कभी ना कभी भूल जाते हैं कि that we should have some pause in life where there is a complete stillness and when we introspect, because when we really introspect we realize whether we have improved or somewhere we are lagging. It's not about competing with others, it's something which we need to introspect with our own personal excellence. So I think these are some of the key findings which I find when we talk about integral leadership. So here there are 5 important domains: body kinesthetic intelligence, spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence, mental intelligence, and last but not the least, wellness. अगर हम ये 5 दायरों में 5 डायमेंशंस में सफल हो रहे हैं तो वो सही मायने में इंटीग्रल लीडर कहलाया जाएगा. क्योंकि और इसी को एक केस स्टडी के एग्जांपल में हमने पतंजलि कॉर्पोरेट सिस्टम रखा, जिसने बहुत सिंपल भारत स्वाभिमान से शुरुआत करी थी, एंड नाउ द ब्रांचेस हैव बिकम सो वाइड दैट इट हैज बिकम वन ऑफ द टॉप मोस्ट एफएमसीजी नाउ, है ना? सो दैट इज व्हाई इट इज आई ऑलवेज imbibe their main teachings, and I also try to inculcate how first priority is your health and also serving to the society. Thank you so much. With that, I think I have put my points. So yeah.
I think you can hear me now. So thank you, Neha, for that lovely session. I especially like the fact where you spoke about balance, and definitely taking care of our bodies is what is required to live a balanced life as we live a purposeful life, what we are called to live. For this lovely, lovely session of yours, I am sharing with you a certificate which you receive. Yeah. Thank you, Neha. You have the certificate signed by Dr. Yugandhar and grandmother Parisha. Thank you so much for the lovely session you had for us.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Our next speaker for today's session is Vaishnavi Sankwalkar, who will be speaking to us about living in the present moment and a journey into art. A little bit about Vaishnavi. She is an artist who graduated in fine arts in the year 2011 and spent years associating with NGOs as an art facilitator, conducting art programs in schools and colleges. She finds her inspiration in nature and does wall paintings, artworks, and creates designs with fabric. And currently, Vaishnavi works and lives in Goa. She loves dogs and makes it a point to feed the strays near her home. Vaishnavi, we are really looking forward to hearing you speak. Over to you.
Vaishnavi, unmute. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm really blessed to be part of VR1. Thank you, Vasant. Thank you, Floyd. Yeah. So, how I went into the journey. So, I would just like to give a brief idea about my childhood experiences. So, that's how I felt the present moment, how important it is. But definitely, when I was experiencing that, when I was a child, I was really not knowing about present moment. I was not aware about it. Okay, so now I feel that it is connecting somehow. So I was very much struggling with the academics and also my health. So my health and academics were a lot of challenges which I faced when during the school timing. And I changed a lot of schools. I changed 3 to 4 schools during that time. And this was when I was in 8th standard in a school in Margao, where all the teachers were really nice. But one teacher, I had really a little bit difficulty with her because I used to feel she's not happy with me. And due to my health, I used to be a lot of time, staying absent in the class. And she used to clearly humiliate me in front of the class. And I used to not attend her class. I used to stay outside in the corridor. She used to tell me not to attend. So that it was a bit tough time. And I was little not very open to share all these things with my family members. And so one fine day, I had to share what I was experiencing in the school. And because of my midterm exam, which was missed the whole exam term, I had to repeat the whole year, which is the 8th standard. And my dad and my parents, the whole family, they supported me. They said like, do you want to face this? Or it's okay if we can, we'll think, we can take a break. We can change the school because, I was not a strong student, like probably mentally and as well as physically that much. But I always wanted to be part of activities which I could not, I used to never get chance to be there and experience. Dad told me like, just take a call if you want to experience it, whatever. We will listen. We will be here, like. And I said I would like to stay here. I would like to experience the whole 8th standard again. And this time, I just felt that what things I did in the previous year, I did not want to continue it in this year. Although I was seeing all my juniors' faces again, and it was a quite tough experience for me. But then I just felt like about the present moment I'm talking about, I said I will be focused on each and every day's experiences, what I want to do, what I like doing, and what I wish to do. And however, the happiness is finally important. I will be there for others if my friends require me, and I will just face this, I said. And those months just went so smoothly. And that year, actually was one of the beautiful years in my school times, because I focused on a lot of different things, not only the academics, but other things also. So I remember I used to go with my dad to the stadium, and there were this women's team of footballers who used to stay at the stadium in Fatoda, Margao. And every time after schooling, I used to go and see them, practicing, discussing everything. And I used to like spending time with them. And I never shared this thing with my family that why I am doing this, why after school I go to stadium often with my uniform. I used to have food with them most of the time. But then I realized that every player over there is out of their home, is not in their comfort zone, but still they are completely in the present moment. They are focusing on their goals. They are, their present time, however it is, they are practicing on the ground, they are eating food, they are discussing. I'm sure they'll be having a lot of other issues also, other problems. But, apart from that, how they handled the present day, I used to always feel so admired and used to see my dad also doing the same thing. Okay, and that is the thing, I just changed that thought since then, saying that whatever it is, but let me just be myself and feel it, even if it is a sensitive thing, just be there, feel it truthfully. What am I experiencing? And yeah, so so after that, I always had a liking towards art. I never knew that, I will complete my 10th, 12th smoothly, whether even I will be graduating. I really did not have that thought when I was in 8th standard. But everything just went smoothly, thanks to Almighty. And so when I finished my art, I just got an opportunity from an NGO in Margao saying that we need you and would you like to be part of the team as an art facilitator. And that moment when I got a call, I was experiencing jaundice recovery. And I just said, okay, I'm coming. And the whole year I went traveling by bus to South, and I was on a particular diet. But the happiness, what I felt was the experiences, what I did not get it when in school, I felt to give that to the students. Every student required that attention. Every student is special. So the role what I was playing was not only as an art teacher teaching them only skills and art, but it was more like, just making them feel good. So I would say it was more like a feel good session, including a little bit of art. And my attention used to go on those students who were just like me, sitting in the corner of the class, quiet, you know. And I used to just sit next to them near the bench, and principal used to say like, why you are doing this? Sometimes you should just be like a teacher, you should be firm. But then I was more like a friend to them. And yeah, I was just, that is the thing like I do, like, just being there for them. And yeah, so yes.
Thank
And I
you.
love dogs. Yeah.
Yes, yes, of course. Thank you, Vaishnavi. That was such an honest and personal experience. It takes a great deal of courage to be so vulnerable and share your personal experience and what led you to this journey and how you integrated your love for art and how you find yourself by being in the present moment. Thank you so much for sharing that. And for this
My
little
pleasure.
lovely sharing of yours, we would like to present you with a certificate. This is a certificate for you for being present here today at the summit. We are one summit signed by Dr. Yugandhar and grandmother Parisha. Thank you so much, Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Dennis. Thanks. Yeah.
Most welcome. Our next speaker for the session is my dear friend Klesma Da Costa, and it's such a blessing to introduce her today, who she will be speaking on spirituality through the expressive arts. Klezma, as I know her, is an evolving soul, open to experiences, helping her become her highest self. And the experience of divine love is her catalyst to becoming. She holds a master's degree in child psychology and child development from Parvati Bai Chogle College of Arts and Science. And she's also a certified dance movement therapeutic practitioner from Tara Institute of Social Sciences in Mumbai. The founder of Klezma's Fitness Squad, she advocates holistic fitness, fitness of the body and the mind here in Goa, India. With Dance Heals, she works with different populations using dance or movement therapy as a tool to promote emotional, cognitive, physical, and social integration of the individual for the purpose of improving health and well-being. Her interests and hobbies are definitely dance movement, expressive arts, singing, acting, miming, adventure, travel, and her life motto is to live, love, and inspire. We are waiting to hear you, Klezma. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Denise. I feel a lot of love in this space and very overwhelmed with this feeling of having all these lovely people with me. And want to acknowledge each of you and show my gratitude before I start. So as Denise shared, I'm going to speak about my personal journey of spirituality and what it means to me, and how the practice of expressive arts has helped me to recognize that I am not just the labels that I carry as a teacher, a dancer, but more so I'm a soul. And I recognize that I'm a loving soul and all the loving souls around me. So to start with, it all started behind locked doors, where I used to move fiercely, feeling this sense of, a drive which used to lead me. So there was a time when I was 17, I was clinically, depressed. And I realized there were so many thoughts in my head which were conditioning of, self-esteem issues, this feeling of constantly being told who I have to be, how I have to be, what is the right behavior, the wrong behavior. And for the longest time in my life, when I was growing up, I kind of did everything to fit that mold. And it was so demanding and stressful that I was constantly in this space of controlling everything around me. And when I was 17, I realized that there was something wrong with me, and I used to start crying and this feeling of not wanting to do anything. And today, when I look back at that experience, I realize it was my soul trying to tell me, Klezma, wake up, this is not your reality. There is something more than just being things that the world wants you to be, but there is something that you have to offer. And that is the time, I think it's only when I moved, all these thoughts disappeared, and movement told me there was something more than just the belief systems and the ideas I had about myself. And that was the first time I realized that I was something more than just these labels. I was a soul, and there was something very divine in that experience. That is a time that I felt completely whole and enough and complete. And that journey continued, that journey after that experience, the approach I had towards life changed. As I shared in the last sharing, that it was that experience that, I don't have to constantly be doing things to impress, but do things because I believe in the purpose and I want to give. And that journey continued, and over the different experiences I had, or I can call it like an awakening of breaking myself up to the reality of what it truly is. It was art that helped me. And just to kind of give an understanding to what I'm trying to share, I'm going to share a small piece that I did work on. Please let me know if you can see it on the screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is, I'm not a trained trained painter. Okay, this is an abstract art which came from a space of healing, and how arts has helped me in healing. And this was the background of this painting was painted when I was in a very bad mind state. And if you see these lines, the blue and the green line, these are my thoughts, the negative thoughts and the beliefs I have about me, or the beliefs I have about the world and how things are so unfair and everything. And then if you see these flowers, they came much later when I was in a space of meditation. So the first layer was just putting out all that in art, and the second layer, which is the flowers, was the remembrance that I'm a soul, and this experience is just helping me to become better so that I can serve better and I can remember who I am. And this is my source. That's my soul. You know, the bits are my soul, or the guidance from God, telling me that this is what you have to do. So this is one of the artwork which I have done. And similarly, art is used, like I use art as a way of experiencing things beyond me. And when I go to a space, which is a teaching space, teaching dance, that is the time I completely feel I'm in the moment, in the present, and truly connected to God. Or I feel like a conduit, and I believe that people receive that love. And when you show your authentic self through art, people also open up their authentic self to you. So there is few things which is a churning, and I just want to share those few things I wrote down. Please let me know, Denise, when my time's up so I don't exceed. Yeah, thank you. So when I was churning and I was meditating, something I wrote. Pain is a portal of spiritual awakening and knowing oneself, that is the soul or the spirit consciousness. And I've learned that alongside a material world, there is a spiritual reality from which all things begin and originate. We refer to this as God or a sacred matrix of life. We work to perceive and align with this reality. All our diseases, such as depression, which was for me, only comes when we are separated from God or the spiritual reality. When we are in alignment, we are not going to suffer. That is when we are in the awareness of not the ego self, where all the pain comes from, but we're in alignment of flow and allowing God to guide you, you are not going to experience pain. Healing occurs both individually and globally, and that is the reason why I am here why we all are here, I believe. When we reconnect with the matrix, healing and regeneration, growth, coordination, inspiration occurs by itself, guided by the universal consciousness. Unlike the material world, the matrix or the God works very differently, and his works are effortless, unlike us, where we want to control everything. So things are effortless and they're always flowing. In deep artistic work, the experience is the fundamental principle of being a spirit, and we are all called to celebrate and revive when we participate in any kind of expressive art. And it is a service to global healing. Every disease can be healed once we remember who we are and we're in alignment with the matrix or the universal life force. And last but not the least, we come together in movement, in arts, in any form that we want to practice. We come together to form communities of growth, which could eventually, which is strengthened by trust and which will eventually lead to enlightenment. And the last thing which I want to conclude with is spirituality, art, and healing. Behind the visible world, there is a parallel world of undreamt possibilities, a reality largely unknown to us, from where growth, healing, and insight emerges. To become able to carry out successful global healing work, we are learning to cooperate with this universal power. By discovering a creative process, the sacred life force through thinking, spiritual work, conscious work, through art, music, theater, and dance, and above all, through building trust among people, we learn to connect with the world that we create with the world that has created us. So thank you very much, and I'm very grateful for this space and for all your presence. Thank you.
Wow, Klizma, that was such an amazing, insightful sharing, wearing it out there, being so vulnerable, talking about soul experiences and how art helped you. I've known you, I've seen you at the time when you were doing this painting and how it helped you connect to a higher source. Really lovely, and really lovely how it is, how your spiritual experience is coming through art. That's really beautiful. Thank you so much once again for being a part of this platform. As a token of gratitude, we would like to present you with a certificate. Yes, here's a certificate by the We Are One Summit Goa. Thank you. It's signed by Dr. Yugandhar and Grandmother Paresha. Thank you, Klizma, once again. I now give it over to Floyd De Silva, who will be telling us about the World United. Over to you, Floyd.
Yeah. So the World United, now I saw very nice talks by Klizma, Vaishnavi, Neha, and they, sort of brought about this vulnerability, which is also a feminine quality, which is also a feeling quality. So this aspect of the feminine is probably called as Shakti in the Indian spirituality. And nowadays there's a lot of talk about women empowerment, and I'm not someone who can comment about it, but I can definitely say that spirituality has to be an integral part of any kind of empowerment. And I think Goan women in Goa, very interesting fact is that they have been the forerunners in the nation as far as women's proactiveness is concerned, women's rights are concerned. So the first woman to be a nurse was a Goan in India. The first woman to running in athletic running has been a woman. The first woman when it comes to beauty pageants and things like that has been a Goan. So, the Goan women have been the forerunners of this nation. And then the other women have followed. So it's a very long heritage of women who are very powerful, who are powerful mothers. Just to narrate from my life is that my maternal grandmother used to live alone, with her 4 daughters. She used to live alone in a house with 4 daughters in a village. And at that time, there was nothing like security, police, and things like that. It was there, but it was like non-existent in a sense. So she would take care. And I remember when I was a very small child, I had jaundice. And these 2-3 women, I think there was only, I don't know if there were any men in the house, but these 2-3 women, they could deal with a child having jaundice, plus other children, plus cooking, everything, So that is the strength of women in Goa. And I think the mother figure is very much respected. Shanta Durga is the one of the most revered forms in Goan spirituality, in Hinduism in Goa. And I think this reverence comes from that. So we definitely, want Goa to develop a woman empowerment wing of the World United. So I cannot be part of it, but definitely it's like, you want a women's hostel to be good, but you cannot enter the women's hostel in a college. So I cannot be part of it, but I can support it, and all of us can support it. I'm sure Vasant will support it. I'm sure Dr. Yugandhar will support it. And I would say that, make a WhatsApp group, start bouncing ideas, meet up few times, now that things are opened up, and see what you guys can do about this World United Women Empowerment Wing. We want 9 members to form the Wing Council, Women's Empowerment Wing Council in Goa. So I request if any one of you can take the lead right now to create the WhatsApp group, it would be amazing. So any one of you want to volunteer? Any one or two of you? Charisma, you can create a WhatsApp group if you like the idea.
We can.
Charisma can create a WhatsApp group, add Neha, Vaishnavi, Krishna is also there, and Denise is also there, Nishika, all of us are there. So, and all of us will support from outside if we are not in the group. But definitely, I think let's get started with the mission of creating these councils and the structure, which is our main objective here. Because speeches we can go on giving, but definitely we'd like to take this initiative further by, creating a network around it. And slowly it will evolve from your ideas, from your brainstorming. So let's get started. Amruta is also here. So Amruta can also participate in that, things like that. Okay, so Denise, please continue and continue the panel which you're running.
Thank you, Floyd. Before we go for the panel discussion, I will just play a video. It's a 10-minute video by Mr. Anup Kumar, who could not be here today. And there's a really lovely thing he's going to be speaking about where he answers the question, why me? There are few people who are truly present to each moment who make you feel sincerely heard and understood, and who are able to offer gentle, wise guidance as you discover and journey on your path toward your ideal life. Deeply thoughtful, generous in spirit, and with a heart full of compassion, Anup's special gift is in helping your dreams come to life. Let us watch this video as he answers the question, why me? Can you all see this?
Once again, I would like to thank my friend Floyd for giving me this opportunity to speak on this wonderful platform. I am so sorry that I could not be there in person, as I happen to be traveling today for some unavoidable work. The topic that I'm going to speak on today is why me? Normally, when we are pressed with the circumstances of life, which are very hard on us, and the whole life seems to be just crushing us, it's a very common question we ask ourselves, why me? What did I do to deserve this? It is as though a seed is asking the universe that why is the manure, why is the mud, why is the soil, why is the weather working adverse to me? Why is it not working for me? But actually it's working for you, because the fact is that till such time the outer covering of the seed is not broken, the tree is not going to come. So your full potential comes out only when the outer circumstances such as society, such as work pressures, such as family pressures, such as the pressures that any government forces upon you with their policies, when they act upon you, you might feel that they are all acting not for you, but against you. But actually, in the literal sense, they may be just acting for you. You have to look back at your life and see for yourself that how many circumstances that you thought should not be a part of your life, but when it unfolded in its entirety, it worked out to be beautiful. However, there is a very important message that I would like to include in this talk, which is that we being on the spiritual path sometimes feel that all the answers lie within. Now, this is in conjunction to what I spoke about earlier about the seed. We normally feel all the answers lie within. And every time we say, look within, any talk that you see, you say you have to look within. You have to look deep within yourself. And there is nothing in the outside. It's all within. But if you look at the example of the seed that I gave you, there is no within which is going to flower without the without. It is only when the outer circumstances are pressing does something which is inside of you start to sprout and starts to flower. So outside and inside are complementaries. They are not contradictories. We normally feel the outside is contradictory. So we set out with a preconditioned mind that is wrong and this is wrong and that should not have happened. But the fact is that if you did not see the hollowness of the society by constantly trying to be trying to please everyone, and if you did not do this for a couple of years, then you would not have come to yourself. You would not have come home. You would have still been without. So it is the outside circumstances which sometimes the job puts you through, which people put you through, your own family members put you through, that you suddenly come to realize yourself. They are as though very hard Zen masters. The Zen masters used to be very strict and they used to be very hard on the disciples. Likewise, these are these unseen Zen masters which give you a whack and you suddenly come to realize a lot of things and come to your being. You become rooted within yourself. You come home. You feel more connected to your nature. You feel more connected to yourself. And believe you me, if these things had not happened, then you would have come into this world and gone out of this world without really flowering. It is as though what Osho said, that a seed would have come into this world and gone back as a seed. So are you able to see that for all these miracles to happen, something from the outside has got to happen? The teacher lies outside, the circumstances lie outside, and they bring something out from inside. So what happens when you crush an apple? The apple juice comes out of it. So what I would like you to understand is that once the world from outside is crushing you, your own juice from within, your own nature, in forms of thoughts, in forms of feelings, they surface. And that is what you have to deal with. That is what is your path. That is what is your destiny. You have to sort them out. You have no choice. If anything that you have suppressed, where have you suppressed? You've suppressed it inside. You haven't suppressed it outside. I mean, there is no server outside that you have suppressed it in. So when these feelings come out, the only way to release them is by getting in touch with them. And then what happens is that whether it is hurt, you got to face it and you have to reconcile with it. Whether it is happiness, you have to experience it. Whether it is a creative thought, you have to exhaust it into the world. Whether it is anything, you have to take cognizance of that and give it a manifestation. But that juice from within wouldn't have come out if something from the outside was not heavily crushing you. that nature of yours would not have showed itself to you without something from the outside happening and acting heavily on you. So this is what I came to realize at my age, that everything around is a miracle. As Einstein said, that you can live life as if nothing is a miracle, or you can live life that everything is a miracle. Today, at this age of my life, I feel everything is a miracle. Life is not happening to you, life is happening for you. This is something that somebody has said long ago. So, look at the body, mind, and soul. Look at the outer and inside. Look at pleasure and pain. Look at anything is something that you welcome with open arms, because it is going to do something and is going to complete your journey on this planet. And that's what you've come here to experience, nothing else. I mean, this is all there is. It could be the simplest and the smallest of things. And that is what you've come here to experience. So my request to you is that be open to all experiences of life. And you will see that life itself is going to unfold from within and give you something that you may have never experienced before. These are some thoughts which are coming to me very spontaneously, and thank you for listening. And I felt the need to share it with you. Thank you once again, and wish you a great convention, a great talk, and I will be listening to it also wherever I am going to be, in Delhi or Jaipur. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care.
Sure, was a lovely session. I mean, I really enjoyed it. The second time I'm hearing this talk. I mean, yesterday as well, when I downloaded this video, I like the fact when he says that something inside you starts to sprout and flower when outside forces act, a miracle happens. I really like that. And I think it is so connected. As I'm listening to all of you speak, everything is so connected to healing and being connected for a greater good towards the end. For our panel discussion, we have the question, how to awaken understanding and experience of selflessness in humanity. So all the speakers of the session, Neha, Vaishnavi, and Klizma, the question is open. How to awaken understanding and experience of selflessness in humanity? Who would like to go first? Go ahead, Klizma.
I think, in my opinion and my experience, that, as I said before, that you could be functioning from two different spaces. One is, as I said, your soul awareness, where you're aware that you are not your ego. When I say your ego, I mean your conditions of who you are, your profession, the place you are born, whose son, daughter, husband, wife you are, but who you genuinely are at a soul level. And when you understand that, and you can give yourself positive, like in therapy, we say, unconditional positive regard to yourself, and then you can give that love, your approach and your behavior changes. Let me give you a small example. Like when I'm teaching in a classroom, I am there and I believe that I'm here to offer what I was given by the world or my own understanding of life. And when I offer, I come from a space of giving and not receiving. And when you do that, you are also being your most vulnerable and authentic self. And when you show authenticity in your action, in your words, in your being, you also encourage others to show the same. And I think that is how, it's like every drop change makes an ocean. That is how you start the process of change or helping others to find who they are. But it all starts with self, and then you become selfless. So it starts first, you go within, and because you've done enough work within, then it will show outside, is what I feel.
Thank you for that sharing. Neha, would you like to go next?
Yes, thank you, Dennis. So there is a beautiful verse which I would like to share. It is said, the insightful thoughts sent in few verses are having much more stronger impact than a big large statement. So I would like to give a short verse and also explain it. So it is a little melodious. So please pardon me if my voice is a little harsh. Okay. Dhairyam yasya pita क्षमा च जननी. Okay, what do you mean by dhairya? Dhirta, when you have the courage. Dhairyam yasya pita. Kshama, the ability to forgive. Kshama cha janani. Janani means mother. Dhirta, courage is whose father, and ability to forgive is whose mother. Shanti Shiram Gehini. Shanti, the peace of mind, is one whose wife. Gehini means wife. Shanti Shiram Gehini. Satyam Mitramidam. Satya, ability to be truthful, is whose friend. Satyam Mitramidam. Daya cha Bhagini. Ability to be kind, empathy. Daya cha Bhagini is whose sister. Bhrata Mana Sanyama. Bhrata Mana Sanyama. Ability to be having control over mind. Manaha Sanyama जिसको हम कहते हैं. Bhrata means brother. Brother is whose? Sanyam, man ka sanyam. Ability to have control over one's senses. Bhrata mana sanyama. Shayya bhumi tala dishopi vasanam. Shayya means bed. Bed whose shayya bhumi, जो भूमि ही जिसका बेड है, भूमि ही जिसकी शैया है, और ये चारों दीवार ही जिसका वस्त्र है. You take it from the perspective of understanding the meaning out of it, not the literal meaning. Shayya bhumi tala dishopi vasanam. Jnanamrutam bhojanam. Matlab, knowledge is one whose amrit tulya bhojan. Matlab, the one who is seeker of the pure knowledge only. Ye te yasya kutumbino vada sakhe. The one who has got these elements as companion in the journey of life, he will never ever have this dilemma of doubt, dilemma of frustration, dilemma of depression. And that's how you said, Kasmad bhayam yogina. उस योगी मनुष्य को किसका भय होगा? And one who is fearless from all these things, he will have that inner peace, inner tranquility, which we always seek for. So that tranquility is not outside, it's in us. So these are the few elements which were being mentioned in Bhritahari Shatak. It's a scripture, Indian scripture. So I think the meaning has been told by me, and that's what I wanted to clarify with your question. Thank you, Dennis. Yeah.
Thank you, Neha. That was such a sweet way of putting it across, and taking the question and just explaining different aspect of really actually how what exactly we experience, meaning of how we experience selflessness and humanity. Really beautiful sharing, Neha. Thanks so much. Vaishnavi, would you like to add to this?
Vaishnavi should also sing.
Lloyd. I would like to say a little thing. However, we experience like the emotions, forgiveness, helping. Okay, I feel we need to be really, really genuine with it. 100% genuine with forgiveness. Whenever we lend a help, to anyone, we should not expect probably that, we will also get that in return someday. And probably that's why I'm doing this, that, but I feel no, just be very, very genuine. If you truly feel like doing, do it. And yeah, and forgive from heart. So not just, for a temporary purpose, keeping things very light on a very, that will always be temporary if it is not coming from heart and not being genuine. So I feel like the genuineness is very important in everything, in every, even being aware about your emotions. I feel we should be truly genuine with ourselves also and with others. Yeah.
Very true, Vaishnavi. Actually, genuineness is so important in any relationship, right? And that's what even I understand. And it's a little small thing from my end. Like, if you have to awaken understanding and experience of selflessness, I think you have to wish the highest good of the other. And that's when you unconditionally love that person without expecting anything in return. Wanting the highest good of that person without expecting anything in return, I think that is selflessness. And how we can actually practice this not only to people whom we expect something from, but to humanity as a whole, right? Would anybody like to add anything to it? Floyd, Krishna, Vasant?
I would like to say something.
Yes.
I mean, it's lovely to hear so many perspectives, and this is exactly why we hear. It just opens up your mind. But I think what is work for me, I can only say that if I can concise all that wisdom into something that works for me, like I always work like that. I don't know whether it works with anyone, but authentically, I felt I should share. If you can come back to 1, 2, 3 things, maybe one thing only, and keep it simple that works for you, and have the courage to go to that, to connect to yourself. If you can do that with you first, and even with your closed ones, without really thinking about the world, you are already on the path of success. For me, that is success. If I'm thinking about the world, but if I can't help my sister or my father, and if I fail there, I don't think we are being authentic. So yeah, so I feel if you truly feel it, it will definitely sip into your relationships, your immediate relationship, and if it has to go in a larger context, it will go. You don't really have to worry about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vasant, for that. And Krishna, would you like to speak something?
Yeah, I was just enjoying everyone's sharing. And I just felt that, everybody is pointing to the same thing in their own sacred way, through their own stories. But basically the pointing is same. Keep coming back to yourself, keep connecting to yourself. And we all have our own ways of, channelizing the energy, connecting. Some might enjoy having that beach walk. Some might enjoy a dance. Some might, enjoy painting. But the divine within keep helping us, or gives us inspiration whenever we are in a tight spot in our life. It keeps giving us that inner spark and fire, that get out there and do something. And many of us must have also experienced that we had never done some things in our lives which people felt might be impossible, or we felt it's impossible that we are doing that. But because of this push from life, we were pushed literally like 4 steps ahead of time. If everything was smooth and silky in our life, we would have taken our own sweet time to get there. But because we all have this intense experiences in our own lives, we had that big jump and big push. We felt we are going to fall, we felt we are going to die, but it was a gentle push, a loving push by the universe, telling us that dude, you can go right up there. Don't stop yourself. Don't hold yourself, and there are so many like you right there waiting for someone like you to show them that path. You are that same light which they are. So we all are same. So yeah, this just felt like sharing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna, for that from the heart sharing. It was really, really beautiful. Floyd, you would like to say something, or anybody else who is there? Okay, so that brings us an end to this lovely session, which we all enjoyed, spirituality in arts and culture, where we saw how each of the speakers brought about their most vulnerable self and shared about how expressive art, or how the various practices they follow brought them to a higher and elevated them to a higher spiritual experience. The World United Forum, as we know, we are all come together to bring about unity consciousness as we evolve to become better beings. Thank you once again. It was my pleasure to moderate this session.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Klezma. Thank you, Vaishnavi.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Vasant.
everyone.
Thank you, Denise. Very good
Everyone.
job.
Thank you,
And
Floyd.
Vasant, Denise, all of them are putting in a lot of hard work. They've been preparing for this. So a big hand for all of them. And also, there's a plan for Goa going ahead. On 8th May, we are planning the South Goa Unity Conclave, which is going to be the next version of WOW, but it will be at the district level. So we are thinking of this, and we are also thinking of a North Goa Unity Conclave on 19th June, which we will co-create, just like we have co-created this VR1 Summit. We are going to co-create that also, people from North Goa, South Goa. So I've created a couple of WhatsApp groups for both of these conclaves. So I'll share the links in this. I'll share the links in this chat itself. Denise, when is the next session?
I think it's at 2:05.
Okay, so I've just lost the hosting rights. So Denise, I'll send you the dates. I'll send you the link. Just post it to the everyone in the chat, that everyone thing. And also, so there's a North Goa link and there's a South Goa link. So both the links you can share, they can join whichever is applicable to them. And you can post it to everyone. There are 2 chats on WhatsApp, chat groups, and they can join it, and then we can co-create again, we can enroll as speakers and we can build this together. Some of us will definitely enroll to be moderators, some of us will be co-creators, and so on. So when is the next session? Let's check. The next session starts at 2:10 p.m. Okay, so we'll have some music and you guys can have a quick lunch, and we'll join at 2:10. Okay, thank you, Denise. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It was a powerful,
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Floyd.
powerful Shakti session. Thank you, thank you, thank you.